What's up, guys? All right, in this video I want to talk about something that's happened here. We are in the middle of a 12-day trip, Grand Teton and Yellowstone National Parks. Over the past few months I've been planning. I have so many of those blue dots on Google Maps, or those blue flags, looking over different portfolios of photographers who are based in the area. And one of the things that is sometimes I have a hard time with, and I'm sure you guys have done this too, is seeing these beautiful portfolio images of these epic conditions, thinking that that's something that's, you know, likely or something that's going to happen if you go to these locations. The problem with these photo trips and, you know, having these kind of expectations is coming away disappointed. And what's happened here is there's been a bunch of fires all over the West Coast, all over California, Oregon, even here in Yellowstone. There's a fire here pretty close to Old Faithful Geyser. And what that's done is, other than the first couple of days of being here, we have been completely smoked out. I mean, we haven't even hardly seen the Tetons because of it. So it's caused us to have to adjust our mindset and not have these expectations of having these epic photos. Me personally, I probably have maybe 3 to 4 portfolio images a year. Looking through all these portfolios and seeing these epic conditions of the Grand Tetons, or, you know, the wolves or the grizzly bears, you know, on a kill or something like that, you come away, or you come to this place thinking that that's going to happen. And it's so important not to have these expectations. One thing that I've been telling myself is, it took me a day or so to really kind of come to terms with the conditions right now, with the smoke everywhere and just it not being great for landscape photography in a general sense. But when I was out in Yellowstone, we were, in the last video you guys have seen, we were photographing wolves and they were on a bison kill. It was so far away, really smoky and things like that. But later that day during sunset, I was able to actually capture some landscape photos using that 200 to 400 lens, and something that I wasn't expecting, wasn't planning on doing. But because I wasn't just having tunnel vision on the wolves and the bison and the grizzly bears and everything, I was able to take away with something that I think is going to be a really strong image, something that I wasn't expecting to have. It wasn't what I went there for. I wasn't going with a plan to shoot, you know, these beautiful cottonwood trees in the middle of Lamar Valley at sunset. You know, I was expecting to be photographing grizzly bears and wolves. This image here was something that I'm very, very happy with. And what I want to do with this video, guys, is I want to take you guys through some shots that weren't planned, weren't expected. Because of the conditions, we're having to change our mindset and really change the method we go about taking photos. We're starting to get some fall colors now. We're back here in Grand Teton, so what I'm gonna do is Chris scouted out a location near camp. We're gonna go there. She's gonna show you guys what she has, and then we're gonna go through and probably visit some locations that aren't the iconic spots, but we're gonna try and get some really strong photos out of it and make something out of a trip that we weren't expecting things like this to happen. And also, real quick, I want to say another thank you to lensrentals.com, sending us out these long lenses to shoot wildlife with. They've been so kind enough to give you guys a 15% discount. Just click on the link in the description, it takes you to lensrentals.com. Use the Perea 15 discount code at checkout for 15% off any body, any lens you guys want to try out. If you want to buy something, rent it first. I always say that. So, all right, guys, let's get over to Chris, and she's going to show you guys one of the shots she's been planning.
So the thing is, I can see the reflection of the tripod leg. So I'm not sure if I can get that away. Oh, maybe. How can I get down now?
Chris and I are out here actually looking for owls, which will probably be in our wildlife video. We're walking through this cottonwood stand where there's a river running through it. We got a little bit of smoke settling in this valley here, and we have a lot of this sagebrush that's in here, and I'm on the 200 to 400 right here because we're trying to photograph those owls. The Z6, and I left my D850 in the truck because I wanted to get more video while Chris took the photos. I found this absolutely beautiful subject. So I have this one little cottonwood tree. It's crooked. It's got some fall colors on it. And because of that smoke, it's giving it like a kind of a bluish tone to it. It looks absolutely fantastic. And the compression with this 400, I'm all the way out at 400 millimeters, just looks absolutely beautiful. And I've had to zoom with my feet, walk up closer to it because there's a lot of sky, and that sky is really bright with that smoke. So I'm trying to eliminate as much of that sky as possible. Getting these trees in here, just the one tree in focus right in the middle, everything else is out of focus. I'm gonna try it a couple different apertures, f4 all the way through f11, and see, because of the 400 millimeters, that focus and that depth of field is really shallow. So I'm gonna try it at a few different apertures, because even from the front of that tree to the back of that tree, the subject, if I'm at f4, just a little bit off, I mean, just if I'm sharp on the front, the back is a little bit off. So I'm gonna mess around with the aperture a little bit, but man, this is absolutely a beautiful shot. Definitely unexpected, and just, yeah, I'm excited about this shot.
So this right here is definitely a scene that I would avoid if we are in Arizona, because this is scorpion heaven, like an old tree that fell over and is rotting away right now, and this is where the scorpions would live. So, but here, no scorpions, other threats, but that's a different story. And the scene that I found here, it caught my eye because it was very interesting to see the decay of the tree and then the new life coming in. So there is that little plant here that is covering the floor, and it is just turning a color. So a few of the leaves are already bright and red, and some of them are still very green. And one of the, I'm not sure if it is a branch or if it is a root, forms a very interesting pattern. It's almost like a snail or an eye. It's probably up to your imagination what you see, but I think it's a very interesting scene. So I have my tripod set up facing straight down. It's very easy to do with the L bracket. I can just flip it over and it's facing straight down. I'm not focus stacking or anything, because everything is more or less the same distance from the front of my lens. So I'm just taking one image, f10. Yeah, very interesting. Very interesting to hear what you think about this. So let me know in the comments what you see in this photo, if it is an eye or a spiral or anything else. The smoky conditions here make for a very interesting touch to the whole area, because it almost looks like fog. And right now with the setting sun, everything becomes that orangey glow. What I want to do here is I'm set up for a panorama. So I have my camera vertical on the tripod, and I'm shooting on my 24-70. Right now I am at 35 millimeters. And it is a little bit of a downslope here, or I guess what I want to photograph is on a downslope. So I adjusted my camera that I can actually flip it later to make it straight. And what I'm doing now is I'm taking probably 5 photos, overlapping all of them, and going through every image, making sure that when I turn the camera for every single photo, not touching it for a few seconds so it can level out. And for the composition, I try to have the 4 single aspen trees in the middle of my frame, and I want that to be like the middle of my frame, or maybe a little bit to the left, just to balance out the whole scene. Because on the right, the forest is a little bit more accentuated, I guess. There's a little bit more white trees that make it very interesting to the right, and this is to balance that little bit more interest on the right hand side. Yeah, let's see how it will turn out.